What most people don't realize is that picky eating does not only affect mealtime, it goes beyond that, affecting your child's overall health and nutritional status. More so, picky eating is one of those parental challenges that take a lot of mental space with planning. What's my kid going to eat? How many meals am I going to prepare? It takes a lot of emotional stress. I'm going to put in all this energy into cooking this thing that my kid probably ate the day before. And then they say, I don't want it. Or they say, yuck. Or I don't like it. And that's the end of it. So this goes beyond just the mealtime, and we want to make sure our kids are eating the proper nutrients, because we are recently seeing a lot of kids who are eating only maybe 5 things over time, and they end up with either iron deficiency anemia or vitamin D and other deficiencies. That's because of lack of adding variety into your overall intake, which no fault to the parent, because I know how it is with trying to get a kid to eat the things that you know are good for them, right? Sometimes we can just say, oh no, it's just a phase, they'll go through it. But the truth is that if we don't intervene, it will never change. It will continue to be a problem beyond that toddler phase all the way into adolescence. So it is a problem that affects overall health, and without us really making a change to or intervene or putting the work in to get through that phase, it will continue on. And it's challenging too, because it affects not only the nutrition, it affects the relationship, the child's relationship with food, relationship with you, and the child's relationship with themselves too, because they're trying to understand, is my body really accepting this food, rejecting it? Am I eating because I'm told to eat, or am I eating because I'm hungry? So it goes beyond the table. And it's also not just about eating, oh, I'm just gonna have them eat this new veggie out there. It's beyond that too, because the food industry is not really working for us. A lot of the foods that are targeted as healthy and kid friendly, that they said they're either fruits or veggies, have only the flavors in there and loaded with sugars, because of course sugars are those comfort foods and foods that are easier for kids, because everybody likes sweet, or it's easier to be more acceptable to sweets versus something that is more sour or bitter or the other tastes that need to be familiar with it for it to be acceptable. Now, what am I saying? I'm saying that the biggest thing is about really finding those nutrient rich foods that your kid can eat, rather than trying to add multiple veggies and stuff like that. So how can you help your kid then eat the foods that you want them to eat? First thing I usually would say is you got to take it slow. It's not a one-time thing, it's a process, steady and consistent, where you're offering maybe even just one bite of a healthy food. One bite is a win. And the next day they become more familiar with it, and it can go from 1 to 2. It's about constantly exposing them to the foods that on the healthier option list, where they become familiar with it. They see you eating it. They've seen it on their plate multiple times. Oh, I've seen this long enough where I'm familiar with it. I can now either smell it or even taste it or even take one bite. So it is a process. It takes time. So having them try one food and saying, yeah, I don't like it, or spitting it out, that's not enough to say, oh, they don't like that particular food. That was just their first experience with that particular food. So don't give up after the first time, or the first 5 times, or even the first 10 times, because I've seen kids who won't take a food until like the next 15th or even 20th time you offer it. The idea is offering it consistently enough where they can become familiar with it. The second thing is, like I said earlier, you're making sure that whatever they're eating on their plate is packed with nutrients. So including foods that are really nutrient packed, like avocados or salmon or other things that, once if you take even 1 bite or 2 bites, I know you have enough fats in there, you have certain nutrients and proteins in there, where 2 bites is nutrient packed. That way, and I said those particular foods because they're lighter in flavor, they're not too strong or pungent where a kid might easily take to it because of how bland it is, but then nutrient filled. This next step is having a routine. What I have noticed over time talking with a lot of parents is that most kids who are picky eaters tend to graze throughout the day so that by the time they come to mealtime, they're not that hungry. And if they're not hungry enough, they're less likely to try something new. So having some sort of structure around mealtime creates that routine where you have one, a sense of security, but they also have the second thing is they come to the table at least hungry enough to try what you have to offer versus if a kid was grazing all day, of course, with sweet snacks throughout the day. When you have something sweet right before a meal and you offer a meal that's not necessarily sweet, they're not going to like it. So have some sort of a routine where we're avoiding certain snacking at least 2 hours before the next meal, avoiding even juices and milks about 2 hours before the next meal, so they come back hungry enough to even try that one bite we talked about. The next thing I usually would recommend is offer choices. A lot of times, especially around that toddler phase, that's the time where they want to be independent, they want to make their own choices and stuff. So instead of saying, would you like broccoli? You can say, would you want broccoli or carrots? That way you're offering two healthy choices within boundaries, and then they can choose so they feel like they're involved with it. And you can even go beyond offering the choices of the foods, like what plate do you want to eat in? What spoon do you want? So they feel like they're kind of involved in the process too. And you can take that involvement in the process even beyond that aspect where you can get them involved with prepping and picking out veggies. Again, that's still a part of either being involved in it, they're making choice with that, and they're also becoming familiar with touching the veggies in the grocery stores, with picking out the fruits, like which one, what does this feel like? Because again, processing with eating is more than just putting the food in your mouth. It's a texture thing, and you use all your senses when it comes to eating. And finally, praise, celebrate your wins. And sometimes a kid may try one bite today. Oh, good job. Thank you for trying that one bite. Versus like, you have to finish your plate. Or if they say, well, I'm not going to try it today or I'm not hungry, it's okay. We're going to try it again the next day. So you want to make sure it's a positive environment overall, because when it's less stressful, you're more relaxed state, your parasympathetic digestive state, easier for you to even try. And then that security in a state where it's easier for you to try the food and digest your food as well. Well, thank you for listening today. Let me know about picky eating challenges. And if you have any questions, don't forget to comment in the box. As always, like and subscribe. I'm Dr. Frundi. Thank you for listening. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.